Welcome to the Woman in Power Conversation with the President. My name is June Beland, and I am the founder, president, and CEO of the Women's Chamber of Commerce of Nevada. Each week we will have conversations with our members, corporate partners, community leaders, board members, committee directors, and entrepreneurs of tomorrow. Today's guest is Sandra Roche, Vice President, General Counsel, Lead AP BD+C. Okay, you will explain that to me, right?
I don't even know if I can. It's in the building design and construction for LEED, the green building. I'm certified.
Okay. When it gets too long, I don't get into it.
You don't need to read all the time.
No.
At the end.
Yeah, because I wanted to find out more about you anyway. So I wanted to, because I know you as the president of NAVO. Now you're to the end of this year, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Ending my 2-year term this year, yeah.
Yeah, and I meet you at your last year of term. Because I didn't get to meet you before.
Yeah.
But so what are you going to do from there for NAVO? Are you going to still be on a board or something? Or?
Yeah, still a member of the board, the past president. I am corporate partner chair. I am heading up special events in WODA, and so still leading the Women of Distinction Awards. We're getting going on those for 2019. They'll be on May 7th. So we're getting that all set up and ready to go.
Oh, now they had a lapse for a while.
We had a 2-year lapse that was just really, I think having the time, the manpower to get it together and to do it. So I took the lead and said, we're doing it this year, and did it.
Yeah, it is, because it's hard. You have to have a lot of, dedicated people and stuff, because I know. But that's why I say I'm so proud of everybody when they did it for me last year for not for the awards, but for the Women's Leadership and Mentoring Program. So the luncheon, that was really great.
Right, absolutely. We were talking about that before we came on, that was one of my first Women's Chambers events, and it was a great luncheon. You were not there, but you were in there in spirit, and everyone took the lead for you. So.
Yeah, they were all so good. I was really proud of them. But tell us about your career, because I was reading some of your stuff, like your dad started the business, and so go into that for me.
My father started the company in 1971 in Greeley, Colorado, where we'd moved from Los Angeles, where I was born, and he'd gotten a job for a general contractor, a larger one in Greeley, and started Roche Constructors, and started small house building and turned it into a commercial general contracting firm that now has expanded to where we have an office in Westminster, Colorado, and then we've been in Vegas since 1986. In 1983, we lost him in a plane crash, unfortunately, but my uncle, now you're going to get tears. My uncle came in, and he had been a pilot for Continental Airlines, took over as president and bought into the company until my brother really went through the ranks, got out of school, and he is now president and has been president of the company since 1994.
Wow.
So yeah.
Keeping it in the family for sure.
And honestly, I had not planned on getting into construction or doing it. My goal and dream from when I was young was to be an attorney and go to law school, which I did. Got out and I worked for a judge for a year, thought I can do this, saw a lot of attorneys practicing, so I set up my own practice. And then from there I went into a firm for a while until my uncle called me one day and just asked if I could help with some claims and issues, and pretty soon I ended up full-time at Roche Constructors doing our real estate development that one brother was doing, and then my uncle, and then my brother Tom, who's now president, sort of brought me on full-time.
So he brought you back into the fold.
I did, and I learned it by just getting in there and getting in the middle of it. I learned construction. So
now I have a question about the constructors.
Yes.
Explain the constructors instead of construction, because remember I used to get the name wrong all the time because I always wanted to write construction.
Yeah, our company name is Roche Constructors, Inc. And I remember it was what my dad wanted to do, because you actually construct, you're a constructor. And that's the way I remember it and how the company got the name. So yeah.
I know, because everybody says, no, you got the name wrong. And I say, oh, no, we mastered this now. No,
Yes.
that's how you say it.
It is, that is correct, and everyone gets it wrong.
Wow.
Or they
Now,
want to add an A to our name and make it Roche with the ROAC.
I know Barbara was very good at saying, no, you got it wrong, got it wrong. Nope, you got to correct that, you got it wrong.
Yes, yeah.
But what else, what other committees or charity work are you involved with here on the local level?
I've been actively involved with the Associated Builders and Contractors for several years. Our company has, gosh, I would say since about 1989 here locally. And I chaired the Nevada Associated Builders and Contractors 2016, the year before I became president of NABO. And so I'm still actively involved in that. In fact, I've gone on to taking a position on the national board with the Membership Development Committee, and this next year I will become chair of the Membership Development Committee for that. And so that's very exciting. I found with NABO and with ABC or any organization where you get the involvement or go to a national meeting, you get that extra spark or really learn what the organization is all about. And that's something that's gotten me more interested in the different organizations. And so I get excited about participating at that level and bringing it back locally. So I do that. United Way Women's Leadership Council.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which
yeah.
I've been participating in. And this year I'm going to help with the raffle for the the fashion show that's coming up next spring. I really participate there as time permits. NABO has been very time consuming for me. It's an all volunteer board. And so that's been something that's taken a majority of my time the last couple of years on top of work.
All of it's, all of our boards are volunteer boards.
Everything is. So, and so that, and then
my board members don't have another life.
we had no paid staff. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I only have one.
But I hired one this year.
Oh, good girl.
So we do now have some management. So yeah, we've been trying to grow it to where you get, because there's so much with compliance and everything. So
yeah.
That I found that's what I did with ABC that year. We went through the whole compliance from national that we had to get Nevada up to par. And then I really enjoyed doing that and working with that as far as the NABO chapter too, with all of the compliance and paperwork and making sure that everything's in order and that the organization is operating as a business. So,
yeah. Now, are they a 501c3?
We're a 501c6.
C6. Oh, so you're just like us. Okay.
And then there is a foundation that was set up in 2009, the Women of Distinction Foundation, that really had never been active or used. And so we activated that again this year, and for the Women of Distinction Award, so that we could raise funds to help some educational programs, etc., for our members or out in the community, more charitable, and that is a 501c3.
Right, yeah, we did that too. We ended up getting our Legacy Foundation set up about 3 years ago, and one of our board members, Hutchison Stephan, is in charge of they're our lawyer for that. So they do pro bono. They set us all up and everything. I'm spoiled because we have Patricia on the board.
Yeah.
So
well, ours was set up, and luckily one of our members had been a CPA, had been keeping the paperwork with the Secretary of State active. So we just needed to.
Oh, that was cool.
Start using it. So
yeah. Because how long has NABO been here on the local level?
Since 1992.
Oh, 1992.
A group of business women got together. Oh, and now I'm forgetting the name of it. Became a strip joint after that. I think on Las Vegas Boulevard, but I can't remember the name. But where luncheons were held, and actually set up the NABO chapter. And then from there on out, it grew. I think in 2008 or 9, there may have been 200 plus members. And then it went down. We've been holding steady at around 70 members now, but maybe 5 years ago, don't know the exact numbers, but we may have had 20 or 30 members in the chapter. And I've been a member for maybe, I think 4 years now.
Yeah, because we used to have, matter of fact, Anita Leroy, one of our government affairs directors, we assigned one of our board members because we do they're one of our partners, and we do in kind with each other. And she was going to the meetings and everything else. But we couldn't assign anybody this year, so hopefully we'll assign somebody next year. But when she went, the reason that she didn't want to go a lot of times because she wasn't mentioned that she's from the chamber or something. So I said, well, it's up to you. She's Puerto Rican, so she said,
Yeah.
But they were going through a lot of changes at the time, and they didn't have their presidents were not in place all the time. But this was like, I want to say probably before you got there, about 5 years ago. I want to say, because she hasn't done it for a while. And but we usually assign, and we're going to do that in 2019. And but you're ending it this year. Okay, so the new one takes over.
But I'm not going away. And we're a board. We're an organization. We're not a person. That is the one thing I've stressed and I've brought about. No organization is one person. It's all about everyone. It's the membership, and that's what we're there for. It's servant leadership for our members.
Exactly. I know.
So whether I'm there or anyone's there, but it is true. I have to give a lot of kudos and credit to people like Christy Eccles, who was president, and then Jackie Ramirez and Gail Stevens.
I love Jackie.
Who were on the board when the membership went down to very small, and the board was 3, 4, 5 people, and they grew it and kept it going, and helped really start the growth back up and make it more consistent, the regular meetings and everything. And I will say though, when I came in, and that's where I said about structure, organization, compliance, and I saw this women's chamber seal on our website, I said, well, who are they? If they're going to be our partner, we're going to get them involved. And so I think I reached out to you and I said, okay. And that's where I feel we all need to collaborate and share and be there for each other.
Well, see, there was a time that like you said, that they were slow, they went down, but somebody just needed to take the reins and bring it back up, that's all. And our chamber doesn't go through that. It goes through membership withdrawal every so often, because you have people that join and really don't understand the whole process of a chamber of commerce, because we're lucky because we're the only state here, but we're not in charge of any of the infrastructure, politics. Politics is out the door. I'm sorry. I'll bring it to you. We're not going to get involved because women fought for choice, and that's how we're going to keep it. And so the board members are all on board with that. We do have a government affairs, and I am on a round table, every month for, the last, I think it's 10 years now, they developed it for the chambers. But that's that's all I'll do with that, because I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance.
Right.
So no, it's hard, because when we started, They didn't want us here. But I had my training through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. They're the ones that, well, kind of talked me into it as well. So, but I'm glad they did, because I got to really give back to the community and help the women, because I've been a business owner for 40 years. So it was nice for me. And when we moved here from the earthquake in LA and lost everything, I had to start out life all over again here. So I didn't even know what to do, because you couldn't do my publication. You didn't have all my celebrities that I'm used to, and I wasn't in that circle anymore. We just wanted to get out of the earthquake, and come here. So I didn't care. I just had to figure out. So I had my own publishing company. So I belonged to the U.S. Chamber for years, probably about 30 years. So I went back to them and said, okay, well, I need help. I don't know what to do here. I don't know. I want to help women, but I don't know how to help women. So I said, what do you have going on here? And they said, well, they had their convention here for CEOs. And they haven't been back since, by the way, since we started in 2002.
My gosh. Yeah.
So I was going, okay, this is cute. But there was 2 gentlemen, and they told me go down and talk to them. So I went down and talked to them. They spent 4 hours with me. Once they found out my background, they just kind of souped me in, and we had a long conversation. And they trained me, they talked me into a state chamber, because if you're going to go out, they knew the town, they knew the state. So I didn't, so they said, no, you have to go out strong, or you're not going out at all, because it's not going to work for women here. Because when I came in 94, it wasn't predominant, for women. So I said, okay, so let's, let me know what's going on. So they talked me into being, and they trained me to bring in the board of directors as my whole family. Because yes, they can do a hostile takeover. Because if you have a regular board of directors and everything else, and somebody's not faithful to you and stuff, it could be gone. And they said, you're going to have to go through a lot of training. I did 7 months of training. Otherwise than that, you wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't last here. So here we are, 16 years later, I don't care.
No, that's great. I didn't realize it came through the U.S.
Chamber of Commerce, yes.
So did they start women's chambers in many states, or?
They only we're the top 3,
Okay.
What I call standalone state chambers. It's Colorado, Texas, and me, and the Women's Chamber here of Nevada. And Texas and Colorado are fighting which one started first. Because when I got a hold of them and started talking to them, and the U.S. Chamber suggested I do that, and they said, well, no, we started first. And no, we started first. I said, oh, I don't care who started first, how you doing? But they had men on their board.
Oh, interesting.
They said, and U.S. Chamber said, no men on your board, because you just lost the whole concept. So I can have men on other committees, but not on the executive board.
And men as members, or is it?
Oh yeah, members. Yeah,
and
it's co-ed. Yeah, it's federal law.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why.
Same thing for now, but we still don't have our first. I can't say through all the years, but we don't have our first male member. But I'm still out there to get him.
You used to have one.
Did we?
5 years ago, yes, you did.
An
Yes, you
actual
did.
member, okay.
Yeah, he was. Matter of fact, he come up and talk to me. He was from. What is it? Is there a Rampart or something like that? Training office that they had and stuff. And matter of fact, they had 2. They also had the gentleman that did the websites.
Not members, though, corporate partners.
Ah.
So yeah, that would be a difference. Yeah.
Oh, so they weren't. They were just corporate partners. They weren't.
The website
members.
was, but I'll have to check. That now you're making me think. I'm going to check back to our history. But yeah.
Yeah, because I paid attention to NABO for years, because it's a really good fix. And who got NABO involved with us was, oh gosh, I should not forget her name. She owned a CPA firm. I mean, she owned a, was it TPC?
Kimberly Miles.
Kimberly Miles.
Okay, yeah.
Kimberly
A
Miles
payroll,
came
I
to
think. Yeah.
came to our office and spoke to my board members and drafted up some type of contract thing, and the members thought that was kind of board members are high profile in town. They just thought that was kind of different, because I'm always looking to get involved with every woman's organization, but I want the women's organizations to be compliance and constructed. I don't want it to be like, I'm throwing 3 women together, I'm throwing 5 women together, and no, it can't be that way, because then the chamber loses its credibility as well, you know. So we want to always partner with, you know, a lot of organizations, women's organizations especially, that are, you know, compliance and stuff. So
Yeah, they have credibility.
yeah, exactly. So that's, you know, we just have to watch ourselves too. I mean, it was hard at first because, you know, this town was like a free agent, and I'm used to structure, and it was interesting when I first moved here. And yeah, they were right though. And today it's funny because you have the 3 states standalone. What I call standalone is you're not connected to a city chamber of commerce.
Yeah.
You're not in like the metro. You're not involved with that. You're not under their umbrella.
Okay.
We are standalone. They, ever since we started, I think it's about 5 years ago, you started seeing all these across the United States, because we're the 3 of us kind of like spearheaded a lot of things. But we're the young babies. We're only 16 years old. But the other ones just kind of popped up all over the place. But they're a spin-off, you know, not spin-off, but they're a branch of their own chamber. They're not standalone. So like when Barbara Wood was on my board, she was running the luncheons for the women for Metro when it was regular Las Vegas, but Metro now. But what happened when they started building and building and building, and you know, she's a go-getter, so she ended up having, you know, over 200 ladies at her luncheon, and they're going, oh, this has got to stop. You know, they pulled it from out underneath them. So that's what they can do. That's why the U.S. Chamber taught me well, because nobody can touch the chamber and nobody can take us over.
Right.
And nobody can say, no, we can't have, and we have to have, but there's no men on the board. We've never had a man on the board, and we'll never have a man on the board, because what does he know about us?
Right. Are you under the U.S. Chamber, though, to where any of the dues go up there, or is
Nope.
just, it's
no.
totally
They
separate?
totally had me on my own, you know, and I'm glad they did, because
No, that's good to
since
hear,
I
yeah.
left, you know, since I've been on my own, I think it was 5-6 years ago, they got very, very political. In the last 2 years, they're terrible. And I don't even keep my membership with them anymore, because I'm not getting into that. It's tough enough to keep ladies, you know, on the forefront and try to help them. I don't want them telling us what to do. Again, they're all men on their boards, and they're gonna tell us what to do. Yeah, right. You know that as well as I do. That's not gonna happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, so I love it. But what's happened to me lately is I've been asked, I'm all over the world, because my publications go all over the world to all the Chamber of Commerce in the U.S., international, and abroad. So we get a lot of coverage, and which brings a lot of people into our community. But in the interim, they're looking at us, and they're just, a lot of them are the small ones, the very small ones from other states, are calling me up and asking me to train them. I've never been asked that in my life, because I don't even think of those things. So I'm going, that is an interesting concept.
I was going to say, it's a good niche to get
Yes.
into for you.
So
yeah.
I said, wow.
Training organizations. Yeah.
Because again, they've been reading the website. They know my background a little bit. I don't think I have the full thing about the chamber, how they train me and stuff. But I'm really glad they did. I'm glad they took the time and thought I had the fortitude to be able to, you know, withhold this chamber. And because it has been a good experience for me as well. Because I've always belonged to chambers all my life. I belonged to Beverly Hills Chamber, Century City Chamber, you know, all of them for my business. But and serving their committees and stuff. But it's not the same when you're running it. Trust me.
Absolutely.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. But I'm very happy about it. You know, and I'm happy that I'm kind of honored at this point to be asked to help them. So I set out a whole outline, because they wanted to know how I did the membership and stuff. But I was taught for the membership, and I'm a cutting edge person anyway. I'm a business owner, so I'm always looking to better, you know, what our chamber does, how we do it, and when time change, we have to too. If we don't, then we're going to lose. And so me helping women is not going to work. So I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, no, I think that's great, and what a neat deal that so many people are reaching out and trying to set up the women's organizations. The one thing I will say, though, is that I'm hearing from others, and I haven't looked into so many, is there's so many women's organizations out there, and that's why I've more just had this whole thought process to reach out and collaborate and do events or do things together instead of set up more organizations, have more events.
Well, you know,
make things more time consuming too, and pull things together.
When I first started, 2 years, I think it's 2 or 3 years into it, the RJ asked me to do an article because, again, at that point, they were getting all these women's organizations. They said, well, if you've got a women's chamber of commerce, why are you making all these women's organizations? Because you only have 3 here, 5 here, 10 here. And so I finally looked into it and I researched. There was 220 at the time. There's not so many today.
Back then? Okay.
Yeah, back then.
So it is better now.
Yes, it is better.
Okay.
It's you know, but again, we're supposed to be trying to unite. That's dividing. It's nice that they want to get together but there's too many of them now. Now I notice every time I go to I love them all. I would like to help them all, but some of them don't want your help. So again, it all depends. They want their little niche, and they're different things, and that's okay. That's because I'm an entrepreneur, so you know, I don't care. But if they want our help, we'll branch out to them. But again, we have certain restrictions in our bylaws for, you know, going, and we have to really know who you are. You know, your background and stuff, because again, we're still under a Chamber of Commerce bylaws and have to protect ourselves and know who we're dealing with and stuff, because we're just inviting other people into the chamber that, you know, normally you probably wouldn't want there, or, you know, don't know their backgrounds. Because I'm used to interviewing people and celebrities and stuff, I interview every person that wants to join the chamber. I want to know, do you know about a Chamber of Commerce? Do you know what it does? You know, and when they can tell me that, and then I ask them what their business is, how can we help you? It's not about, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, why they're joining and not just,
right.
You know, I've had people come up to me and go, you know, I've been a member for a year now and you haven't done all this for me.
Oh, I get that all the time.
Yeah. No, it's what the members need to put into the organization as much as
well, that's why
the organization gives
that's why
to
I got
them.
Smart.
The resources are there.
That's why I got smart and started interviewing them.
Yeah, very smart.
Why do you want to join the chamber? What have you read about the chamber? What do you know about us? And what are you looking for as a small business or individual? What are you looking for? How can we help? It's not you just join in, because we have a lot of those. You know that. This is a town. You know, so you're going to get all of that as well. But now I just ask them, because if I don't see them, and they got to get involved. If they don't get involved, because with the chamber you have a lot of different areas that you can get involved, because we have different committees, we have workshops, we have education councils, we have government councils. So we have a lot that you have to have as a chamber. But if you don't get involved with that, we can't help you and get you further in your business or further in your career, or, you know, and some of them, especially under the A-team, you know, Laura and Kevin are so good because they just don't have the A-team, they train the A-team, you know, they help them. So we've had them together for 2.5 years, but that's how you keep them, because you help them.
Well, I think the more actively involved you getting on a committee and organization, you know, and like NABO, you don't have to be on a committee or do anything.
Right.
But the more actively involved I got, which I got involved right away when I joined.
Right.
You look at the membership list and see the people who you've never met, or, you know, and it's nice then to start seeing people come regularly and see the different involvement. We recently started, because a lot of the NABO groups have a mastermind group to where you can get the smaller, more intimate groups together.
Right.
So we wanted to offer that for our members and non-members. We don't, I mean, anyone's welcome. We just it's a little bit more expensive for the non-members to come, but because we try to make it affordable under the membership for the members. And then also too, you mentioned the political part. NABO is all the way up to national nonpartisan, But through this whole compliance system that they've been going through the last 5 years, I would say they've sort of done it as a star system for the chapters, making sure that all your paperwork, your bylaws, your budgets, your finances, everything is in place. Now this year they're working on advocacy and actually at the national level starting to endorse candidates for the first time, because we've always been nonpartisan. And so still at the local level, there are no endorsements or anything like that. We welcome politics, the political candidates to our lunches, whatever, but we'll invite both sides and let them speak or tell us what they want, but we don't endorse anyone. But at the national level, they're starting to do that. So
I know, I saw that.
it's starting to change within NAVO. So we'll have to see how that grows, and we can actually
remember they moved to Washington D.C.
Yes. Yeah. So
yes. So I knew
it'll be interesting to see.
I knew it was going to happen when they did.
When I was involved in ABC and chairing that, we do have the Political Affairs Committee, and we actually met with the candidates, and then we did our endorsements, and we had a PAC, that we still have a PAC, that we actually give donations to candidates. So I was already involved and used to doing that, but we haven't reached that level or don't have. Well, first of all, we don't have the resources for that, but also we need, it's time consuming. You really need to learn about the candidates. You don't just endorse for party or for whatever reason.
Today is very difficult. I wouldn't even think of taking it on today, more so than 5 years ago. It's really hard now, and so you have to be really careful. And again, when it comes to the Women's Chamber image and your image, and bringing that to the name and all the work that you guys have gone, same thing with us, you can easily tarnish it if you do it the wrong way, or you get the wrong candidate, and then somebody starts I don't know.
I agree.
So I look at that very hard, because I donate my time. I don't get paid for this. I promise to pay it forward because of my mentors, and I don't mind, but it has to sustain itself, and it has to do really good, but it has to be solid. And I don't want any hiccups, because I'm the one that gets the hiccups.
Well, I'm 100% in agreement with you, and that's the way I see it, that I really believe in it, staying nonpartisan. And even at our national conference in an election year, they'll have both candidates speak, and I will say that hasn't even been fair. When I've gone to the luncheons there, they'd have one candidate's representative speak at the opening of the conference, and then one 20 minutes after everyone's walked out of the luncheon, which I hit the ceiling on. I don't believe in things like that. If you're going to be fair to everyone, you're fair. And I just think at any level, you have to be very careful how you do that and what you do with all.
Well, if you've paid attention to, and I love MGM, and I love, but last year they had a very controversial woman speaking, and 2 of my members almost walked out, because they don't want anything, just on the left. Get the left and the right if you're going to do it. Don't get one side. And they just had one side. And
I wasn't there last year.
I didn't go this year, and I heard they still had some people that didn't get so carried away, because they had some people walk out last year, because I was there. And that was sad.
It is.
Because that's right before I went in for my surgery. Because again, I've been involved with them because I was on their first committee when it was Women of Color.
And that was announced.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes, your name was mentioned.
This is the first time I have not gone in 12 years. I just couldn't do it. I had so much going on, and back to work with the chamber, and I had a lot on my plate.
So they recognized you in front of the entire crowd, which is growing like mad. It's my first women's leadership conference for MGM. And I thought it was great. Yeah. They kept it flowing, good speakers, everything. Yeah. And I saw Barbara there in your place. Yeah. But your name was announced. And that was the first I'd known that you had helped develop the whole conference.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
I think it's a great idea.
Because I think Phyllis is the one that Phyllis James, was she the one that's speaking? Because she usually is the one that announced it, because she runs the whole thing.
Maybe. I can't even remember
A
who
little
was
short.
speaking at that time.
Short lady,
I was so...
glasses. Where? How far?
There were hundreds of people in that room.
there
and
were-
I wasn't sitting up in one of the sponsor tables up front.
There
so-
was 50. Well, that's where
Yeah.
Barbara was. Yeah,
I was
there
pretty far back when
yeah.
that was going on.
I think they had about 1,700 people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
I was back in the crowd when they were saying that. Or in the food line, I can't remember. There was good food.
Well, you know, I want to thank you for coming today, because this is really great. And this is the first time you and I have ever had a chance to talk. We see each other and go, hi.
I know.
I'll
I
see you.
keep trying
You're
to
at an
get
event,
you out
I'm at an
to
event.
lunch or something. So
I know, but I can't drive yet. That's why.
We'll get Norm there too.
Okay. But I want to thank you so much for coming, and
Thank
you know,
you.
and you know, so you'll be around for a long time. So we'll be doing work together and stuff. So, and so I want to thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time.